Welcome to Super GG Radio's Beta Breakdown, where we break down those betas we talk about every week on the Super GG Radio podcast. Today we have Beastieball. Beastieball, Pokemon, and volleyball. What better combination exists than that? I am your host, Alex Arona, and with me we have special guest Chris Wilson.
Howdy, howdy.
You are with Backstage Gaming. You are also a voice actor yourself.
Correct.
Yeah, you are a what seems to be a weapons specialist or weapons specialist in training, as what I've seen.
Yeah, I've been getting into stage combat, stunt work, trying to break into that area of performance as well.
I see your your Twitter and your Blue Sky. It is all impressive.
Thank you.
Okay, so you told me you've been playing Beastieball. You talked about it a little bit, I think, on your Game of the Year list. How would you describe it? Besides, obviously, I described it Pokemon meets volleyball. Would you say anything else than that?
That's the big hook, but what hooked me is how much that changes up sort of the Pokemon gameplay. We'll get into it when we get into the game, but adding a layer of sort of spatial consideration, because it works like volleyball. If the ball hits the ground on your side, that counts as sort of a round loss. So you need to work out where you're keeping your beasties in play, the angle that your opponent's beasties can send the ball, whether it's going to hit horizontally or vertically, factoring in sort of the different strengths and weaknesses of the different beasties. It was really remarkable to me just how much that little added wrinkle of what if it's a sport did to kind of freshen up the very, standard Pokemon find creatures and make them fight sort of gameplay loop.
That, what, I do see a lot of Pokemon, we're going to try to do Pokemon, but something else. But generally the core mechanic has always been still fight.
Yeah. And that's, I think, what really sets this apart, because I've seen the different ones, and as someone who's liked the Pokemon games for a long time, but also kind of wishes there were a little more different than they usually go for. A lot of those, the pretenders to the crown really just kind of fall flat because they don't have the pedigree of the one thing Pokemon does better than almost anything else, which is the creatures and the design and the worlds. And I think Beastieball is a little bit like that. It's not quite as inspired with some of the designs. It definitely is still an early access indie game, so there are some rough edges that you don't tend to see in something like Pokemon with that amount of budget. But they did what I've always wanted, which is they genuinely iterated on and found a unique twist for the gameplay that isn't just bog standard turn-based combat.
I mean, I'm excited to see it. Do you wanna start us up and let's start from the beginning?
Absolutely. I'm gonna go ahead and click play now, and we're gonna start off. This is my save file. I've only been playing for a few hours. I haven't had as much time in the new year. But I'm going to start an empty save. We'll go through the very beginning of the tutorial, and then maybe I'll swap over to my save, and you can see some later game stuff.
Sounds good to me.
So, new game. Also, just want to call out, huge amount of options for things like gameplay, speed, in the same way that Pokemon has the battle speed, all of these different things. Some really good, both friendly and not so friendly gameplay options. So there's an option here, the victory option. You can just have a button to win any game if you just want to play it for the story.
Oh, that's nice.
And yeah, you come up against an area where the wild beasties are too tough, or one of the gym battles is giving you trouble and you can't figure it out. That's great. On the other side, there's also a level cap function. So you can set this to either slow how quickly your monsters will level, or stop them completely when they reach the average level of whatever area you're in.
Oh, interesting.
So if you want more of a challenge and you don't want to be able to just level grind your way to being unbeatable, that's an option as well, which I'm always here for cool new
that's fascinating.
Yeah, new challenge modes. Also, huge character customization options. I'm just going to go ahead and click finish.
Yeah, this is all pretty cool.
We'll do BSG.
I like the artwork here.
Yeah, it's delightful. It is not trying to be too flashy. It's just saying, yeah, here's some fun little sprites. There's a great gag. We probably won't see it here. But because the game is still in early access, you can get to areas that are less developed than the other areas, at which point the monster sprites are replaced with like placeholder art, and you get a call from sort of the Professor Oak equivalent being like, hey, just so you know, as our research continues, you'll start to see these guys a little more clearly, which I thought was a very cute gag.
That's very funny.
Yeah, so we got our little character running around.
Cool.
Delightful run animation. I absolutely love the Looney Tunes
Like Sonic the
leg run.
Hedgehog feet.
Yeah.
Very charming. Uh-oh.
Got our first encounter with
The rival.
well, sort of. You'd think that she becomes your sponsor. She becomes sort of your manager in this pro sports arena.
Right, it seemed mean, and then all of a sudden it's like, nah, it's cool.
Yeah. And we've got our starters. Very Pokemon.
Oh, wow, okay. So we have, hold on, we have, on the left is that, like, plant lizard?
Yeah, it's like a little. I think it's based on like an axolotl, like
Okay.
those little amphibian guys. I have no idea what's going on in the middle. I think that's some kind of emu.
Like, that or like a roadrunner?
Yeah, and then we've got some sort of burrowing rat.
Or
That was the one.
Bird rabbit? Like, those aren't wings?
Yeah.
They're kind of like claws?
I
Yeah,
think
okay.
it's meant to be like trowels for digging.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Okay,
like
we
a
can-
porcupine.
Got
Oh, yeah,
Axolotl.
Axolotl, yeah. Cute.
Kitchik
Kachik.
and Bidit. And so here you see there's not types in this game, but there are 3 different main attributes. There's mind, body, and spirit. So spirit types tend to get more moves that enhance the attributes of it themselves or their other your other beasties.
Oh, like buffs.
Yeah, body is just straight up, I'm gonna hit harder than anyone else and take hits better.
Okay.
And mind has more tricksy things, so things that can manipulate where your opponent's beasties are in play,
Oh,
or
okay, more
send the
messing with
ball in
them.
some tricky directions. I'm gonna start with Kitchik just because I haven't used this one as much, and I'm fascinated by this weird little guy.
He looks cool. All right, we got some good stuff here.
And we go right into our first match, and here is the championship match of the Crown Series against Coach Marlin.
Okay.
And this is the sort of hook. So here we're here to serve. I've got one basic attack, or I can free ball. If I send this, my opponent's species will be able to just receive the ball for free. And those numbers you see there are the damage it will do to their stamina. So just one, it's very easy. If I do this, the basic attack, you can see it does a lot more damage, and also it forces them to use a set move after receiving the ball, so they can't just volley it back.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So we'll kick off with this. Here it's telling me that's the estimate of how much damage my attack
front
will
row
do.
versus back row, got it.
Yeah. So in the back, you take less damage, but you also deal less damage if you send the ball over from the back.
Okay.
So this one attacks vertically, so we'll just pick one. I'll go here since it'll do a little bit more damage to the stamina of that Build It. They receive. It costs stamina. If we drop that stamina to 0, they will fail to receive. They'll drop the ball, and that'll be my point.
There we go. Okay.
But also, and we'll see if I can show this with here. So on defense, I get one action, and as of right now, the only action Kitchik can take on defense is to move. I can move either vertically or horizontally. But you always want to check and see what your opponent's beasties can do. So if I click here and click again, this is an attack that's going to go, as you can see, from right to left, as will Axolotls, but there are some that would attack horizontally, so it would hit only in the front row or only in the back row, rather than in the left and right lane. And again, if I don't have a beastie in the lane or row that is being targeted, it'll just hit the ground, and I will lose that point.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll go here. I'll try moving to the side. I think this is all scripted, so I'm going to lose this point.
You're just
either
hoping
way.
to be in the spot where the ball's going to be.
Correct.
Okay. Well,
And
again,
I'm pretty
that's why
sure it's
you need-
scripted so that I will not be, because I
yeah.
think every time I've done this, they're showing you that counts as my opponent's point.
Okay.
And I'm at a disadvantage here because here, I only got one beastie. You do actually need 2 beasties to play. Thank you, rival. Luckily,
Sprecko.
the Sprecko rolls up to help me out. And now I'm here to receive the serve. Again, I already checked. They can only send the ball along these lanes, so I don't need to worry about covering that front row on their service. So I'm going to leave my beasties in the back row so they will take less damage to their stamina.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
They send it over.
Pep shot.
And so here, now we're going to see my turn on attack, not in service. You have more actions on attack. You get 1 action on defense. On offense down here, you can see I've got 3 little action balls. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my Kitchik forward.
Where you're going to see your 3 little action things?
Down here in the bottom right
actions.
of
I see the balls.
screen.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I use one of them to move my Kitchik forward. I'm going to have Sprayko volley. Got to do this. I could just return the ball as a free ball, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to volley over to the Kitchik.
Yep.
And now with my last action, I have to do something that's going to put it back over. I'm going to do this basic hit again, and I am going to absolutely bulldoze the last of their Build It stamina. And they are wiped. Counts as a victory for me. That's the tutorial. It starts off pretty simple.
Yeah.
It gets wild. There are some boss encounters in this game where you're volleying back and forth 4 or 5 times, trying to cover all the different options, managing stamina, swapping your beasties in and out.
Really? And,
yeah, it's...
do you have... How many beasties on the board at once?
You can have 6 in your party, or no, I think... Yeah, you can have 6 following along with you. Only 2 on the board, but you can use an action on defense, or offense, I think, to swap them out. And different ones have different things. I think all of them will recover some stamina when you swap them out. But there are also, some of them will have special moves that let them swap in at a higher rate or with some kind of bonus attached. And if somebody loses stamina but stays in, they are going to just drop the ball. If you swap out a beastie that's out of stamina, they'll recover stamina, but when they tag back in, they will be sweaty, which is sort of the equivalent of poisoned, and they will lose some stamina with each action they take.
Wow.
So there's a lot of management involved.
Wow, that is a lot.
Keeping track of things, but it does a good job of sort of adding to that complexity very slowly over time. So it doesn't feel overwhelming, and then suddenly you're a few hours in, and you're realizing, I'm really juggling a lot. Yeah, the vibe of this game is spectacular. The music is great. The visuals, I think, are really charming. Even as still in progress as some of them are.
Do you know how many beasties are in it currently?
I do not offhand. I've seen a good few dozen, and I'm only a few hours into the game, so it's. I don't think it's huge. I don't think they're looking to rival Pokemon. I doubt there's going to be 150, but there are evolutions. So what do I know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, we'll see when we get to swap it over to my save. I've gotten a couple of mine that have evolved, and they also do a fun thing where the last level before they evolve, they take a slight status debuff as they're figuring out how they're going to change when they swap.
Really?
Which, yeah, it's interesting and a little frustrating to have one of your better guys suddenly be debuffed, but then I'm gonna have a nice little bonus coming to me pretty shortly here.
Oh, okay, all right.
And here we're getting to plot.
Okay, it's about where. Yeah, and that's your friend now. You are older.
Yep, we've grown up. We're buddies. And somebody's coming in to bulldoze the Beastie Sanctuary for something to do with the Beastieball League.
Of course. Oh, we gotta talk. Oh, the league rep.
So we gotta go find Marlin, because we are apparently the assistant coach for our local Beastieball rec team. And we're gonna head into town.
I saw those mushrooms. What are those for? Just you could have your beasties eat it.
You can pick them up and actually throw them, and they'll play catch with them. There's a few little overworld puzzles where you have to throw the mushrooms at switches. So little, very Pokemon or sort of early Zelda-esque overworld puzzles of throwing switches to open paths.
Oh, gotcha.
But mostly it's so you can watch your beasties play catch with each other with the balls.
I mean, that sounds
fun. Here is Marlin. Definitely not Ash Ketchum.
A very
legally
haggard,
distinct Ash Ketchum.
Haggard, older, portlier Ash Ketchum.
Yeah.
in sandals, open-toed sandals.
Again, just great little character animations for the very limited, sprite-based stuff they're doing.
Even
Love
the
the
text-
expression work.
Even the text, like, oh yeah, like all the options are like, yes, you obviously know, you jerk.
Yeah. And they do one of my favorite things in text-based games like this, where they'll play with, like, the speed the text shows up or text effects to imply, tone of voice and emphasis on things every now and then. So just little attention to detail like that I always enjoy. So yeah, the gimmick is the League is here to bulldoze the Sanctuary, but Marlin's old and washed up and hasn't been a major player in the League, so he doesn't have the sway to get them to stop. So it's going to be up to us to go out, take on the League, build our town rep, and maybe get to the point where we can convince the League not to bulldoze the Sanctuary. We're going to save the rec center. Very sports movie. Tropey, but in a way that I think a game like this should be.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense though. You're doing the 80s trope, right? We're gonna come together as a team to go take down the.
There's a great moment where before you set off on your big day, Marlin asks you, "Have you ever seen sports anime? It's gonna be a lot like that."
Oop.
He's given us our jerseys. These are our Pokeballs.
Oh, okay.
And the gimmick of how you recruit beasties, every beastie has a unique recruitment condition. So as you play against them, you will research them, you'll learn more about them, and then you'll find out what you need to do to convince them to join you at the end of a bout. So it's not about lowering their stamina and then catching them. It's about beating them, having completed a particular set of actions in the match with the wild beastie.
Oh, okay. So you have to play them in a match, and then you have to do certain things in the match to get them to want to join you.
Correct.
Okay.
So, it might be knock out a beastie with a single move. It might be have your beasties move 4 times over the course of the match. Everyone is different, but you learn those by sort of seeing what they're about. And so now we're off to find our own beasties.
Oh, okay. So they don't give you the starters, or they do? You already have
They
the starters?
they do after a fashion. We'll get them. We'll get there shortly. This guy's noticed our jerseys, but as you'll see, they're already on a team.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's
'cause
another
they have
gimmick.
numbers.
Yeah, you'll run into numbered beasties that are essentially higher level, but not. They're the equivalent of trainer battles in Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
But they're just numbered beasties that you can face to gain experience and sponsorship money as you explore the world.
Oh.
And I'll do this a couple more times, but all the beasties we talk to out here aren't going to be so sure about joining our team. We're a nobody assistant coach. Why would they want to join us?
Yeah. Okay.
We don't have any other beasties. But as we continue this way,
I mean, you got to start from somewhere.
We got to start from somewhere, and we're going to start from these guys, our old buddies.
Yeah.
They're going to team up with us.
Boom.
And you can
Do you
rename them. You can give them.
rename your Pokemon.
I do. I tend to on my run because I have been naming all of my beasties after players on the Chicago Fire soccer team and giving them their matching numbers. For this purpose, just to keep the thing going, I'm just going to continue. I'll let them stay with the numbers and names that they've got.
And now there was one that said if you have more, so you could probably get that one, right? The one that said, "Oh, I want to see the rest of them."
Unfortunately, I believe. Let me items.
Oh, you don't have any more jerseys.
We gave our 2 jerseys to these 2, so we will not be able to recruit anymore prior to our first gym battle with Marlin. But we will get to face a couple of them.
That's interesting to be out in the wild and be like, we're gonna play volleyball right now.
And notice the net is mushrooms. This is a world based around volleyball to the point that a net will spawn when
out
the
of
beasties
mushrooms.
want to play.
Got it.
Again, I'm just gonna check these guys. So yeah, they've got. It's always helpful in this game, especially given the positional aspect, to check where your opponents can put the ball.
Yeah.
We're gonna send that over.
Boom.
And I'm just going to leave my guys in the back here because they can only send them along these lanes, so we've got the whole court covered. As long as you have someone in the lane or row, you'll be good. They'll be able to cover it. They can't target a specific square. And because I know they can't send a ball horizontally across just that front row, I'm going to preserve my defenses.
Yeah.
Stay in
It's
the
not a bad
back.
idea. Oh, they shifted.
Yep, they move forward. But they're just going to free ball it back because it's the AI and they're taking it easy on me.
Why? Is there a purpose for it?
If you are in a position where you don't have a great option or you need to use your defensive options to make some changes to your team, swap someone out, use a buff, use a healing move, something like that, I suppose you could. I don't know that I have ever, in the course of my playing, done it when I have had another choice. Although I will say there are some moves that will stop your BCs from being able to use certain types of moves. So if they hit you with, you can't use, non-basic moves, that might be the only option left to send it back over.
Okay, that makes sense. So it might be just like a default that they're trying, that like all of a sudden now
Yeah.
you are
And so
forced
Kitchik
to.
has that move to volley and reposition himself. And so that's the kind of
okay.
thing that can add... Oh, and here, my Spreko has Careful Shot, which I can target at the back row. So I can see if they're not going to send someone back. They do, but they sent the wrong guy because now this is going to catch him and wipe him out. And so here, gain some XP. Got our victory. All right, and it looks like we're not yet at the point where we're going to be getting that research data because we're still in the tutorial. We'll face this numbered beastie.
Oh, he's too powerful.
Oh, too strong. And we're going to send...
Don't
We're
want to play
going
you yet.
head back to Marlin.
Usually there's a montage when you pull the team together.
Got our rank challenge with Marlin. And I'm just gonna do this because the gimmick of the gym battles and the vibe of them, I just think it's this game nails the vibe it's going for so well, and I think the gym battles are a really good example of that. To the point that here we can talk here. I'm gonna go annihilate Marvin with the power of friendship. She's gonna restore our beastie's stamina, which I think was already at full, but before we go into the match, we gotta go to the locker room. We gotta have a pep talk with our guys.
Oh, is this a thing?
Yeah, before all the rank matches, you go into the locker room. You can check in with all of your beasties.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a great gimmick as this game goes on. As your beasties play together, they will develop bonds with each other and can unlock special moves. And so as that goes on, you'll see the beasties that are bonded hanging out with each other in the locker room before the match. There's a lot of just nice little touches, nice little attention to detail.
It'd be cool if you learned like abilities to like give like, okay, you're gonna give a pep talk that boosts this.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything like that, but there...
Oh, no, I'm just saying is that would be like a cool thing that they add later on or something.
Also, this theme, so good.
Yeah.
Great vibes and all around.
It's kind of funny because they've proven that they aren't going to do just straight chip tunes, but then when the battle starts, it's like, oh, this is that Game Boy sound.
Also notice the level of my opponent's Pokemon.
Oh,
and how much damage we're going to be doing to old Marvin's team.
And he's also got 4 on the bench, man. Oh, okay.
Hey, I know my team's level might look scary, but it's about more than just who's strong. So here's where he gives you sort of the, if you haven't picked up on it already, don't worry about dealing damage.
Oh,
put it on the ground. Let me see what he's got.
That makes sense.
Oh my god, look at the damage numbers.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we don't want to deal with any of that.
So what do you do?
I'm going to end defense and see what he does. Because I imagine he is going to... Oh, he just used free ball. Easy receive. Okay. So here's the secret. If you target an attack an empty lane, boom, you'll win a no-touch point. Thanks, Marvin. I'll give that a try. Basic hit on this empty lane. Oh, no.
Nice. Okay.
So Marvin is throwing the game for us because he's tired of being in this position. But that does mean we don't have to worry about his absurdly powerful beasties.
That's funny. I didn't even know that. I was like, oh no. I was kind of like, those numbers seem low.
Yeah, they're not great numbers.
Mark, okay.
Yeah, so now our Spreco is blocked, which means that
You have to like free ball.
well, it would lower it. It effectively lowers the effectiveness of anything they use if they target the thing blocking them.
Okay.
It's a sort of attacking debuff. But a lot of the times you can, like, if I have a defending beastie in the front row, they can all block as sort of a standard action. Our opponent's action had a special I can block you from anywhere sort of thing. So even though they're blocked, we're going to go with this careful shot. We're going to send it to the front row. And oops. Gee, Marlon, not your day, huh?
So you could just, but you also level up mid-game, huh?
Yeah, so after every point, you gain experience in the
Oh, okay.
in the matches. Result victory. Oh no, I can't believe I lost, he says.
Wild. And he put $200 on this match. It was weird.
Yeah. On you.
I know.
We get our rank up. And so this is another of the conceits of the game. As you face the different gym leaders and other ranked Beastieball trainers, your rank goes up and down, and that changes how much money you get. Your goal is to make it to the top 20 so that you can have the sway of the area, have the ear of the people running the league.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of interesting little twists, and also it seems a lot more complex than I even thought it would be.
Yeah, it is complex, but I think again it does a really good job of adding to the complexity gradually, so it doesn't feel like, oh god, I'm drowning in new mechanics to have to figure out all at once. And then, you know, you're 4 hours in and you're at a boss fight and you're realizing just how much you're having to juggle. But
yeah,
by that point, you get it. So it is a rewarding challenge and not a struggle. Now that we've done that, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's go ahead and pull up your other save.
Yeah, do at least a little bit. Show off some of the later stuff. See if I can remember where I'm at. Yeah, I just did. Oh, I've got a call.
Oh, press P to answer. This is a cool character.
Yeah, a lot of fun character designs in this game.
Yeah.
Astronomer. A big moon.
Ooh, big moon.
Beasties ball more fervently.
They gotta ball out of control.
Yeah, this must be 4 days. Oh, something actually like
there's
real
a
world calendar. That's
Wow.
interesting. That must be from a new update since the last time I played. That's really cool. I hadn't spotted anything
game
like that.
events.
So yeah, here is my team so far. I've got a couple of those early ones. This is what that blue starter evolves into. Handicoot.
Oh, that looks cool.
And this is what Spreco evolves into.
Oh, it's got an oozing tail.
Yeah, some sort of like mushroom tail. But
Weird. It seems like a mushroom ripe world. What is the question mark?
That is a status thing. I think that means that particular beastie is going to evolve on their next level up, because I don't see. Oh yeah, feeling strange. So that is sweaty and working through some bodily changes. Help them level up a bit more.
I also like that you could see the hearts.
Yeah.
Which ones they're like friends with.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna head out this way because off to a wild area and see if we can get in a match with some wild beasties and just show off some of the later game stuff. Let me.
Oh, here we go. Do you have a map?
Yeah. So this is.
Oh, wow.
Let's see. Here's where we started, and so far I've gone down there, and all the way up to this area, and then up here was an early game boss fight that I just finished up.
So it's a pretty decent sized map
Yeah,
so far.
as of yet. Quite big, and I don't believe I've come close to uncovering all of it. It is sort of screen-based,
Yeah.
So
Very, very, very Pokemon.
yeah. So let's have ourselves a Beastieball match and see if we can't get. Maybe we'll get an evolution on screen. I'm gonna bring the heat and just absolutely wreck this guy. I am a little over-leveled for this zone because this is where I was before my most recent boss fight, so
Okay.
might not get anything too exciting or dynamic, but we can try. I want to recruit one of these guys because they're very cool looking, but
They almost look like flying saucers.
yeah, so here, on down at the bottom on that sort of the right side of that screen, to recruit,
Two
I have
times
to
to
tag out a beastie twice before winning.
Okay.
So let's see if I can do that. I'm just gonna free ball it and try and chase this option. They can.
Oh, he got hurt from that free ball.
Yeah, because they're feeling strange, it's given him the sweaty debuff, which is what I was talking about. It's
Okay.
kind of poison. Anytime they take an action while sweaty, they will lose a little bit of stamina. I'm gonna tag out. Oh, right, this guy. That's why this is challenging. This guy has the tractor beam effect.
What about the other guy?
No, they're both. So you can see that on the ground. This.
Oh, how do you get out of it?
I believe if I move this guy closer, they will take the tractor beam from both of the. Yeah.
Okay.
So now both of their tractor beams are targeting him because he's the closest. So I'm going to volley that over here. And then I can't tag out because I'm on offense and he doesn't have a move. Wait, quick tag. But too nervous to move. So I'm on another debuff
Man,
here. Yeah, they
you're
really
having
do not
problems
want me to be tagging out. All right, fine, have it your way. I'll just hit you really hard with the ball. But you're seeing the layers of complexity,
Yeah.
these unique abilities,
hard to,
juggling
like-
the debuffs.
Yeah, you're really trying to like figure out how to get that person on your team, and it's tricky.
Let's do maybe one more, see if I can find another unique beastie to. They closed.
It's hard to tell where the map where the map kind of is because some of that foliage I'm expecting you to not be able to pass.
Yeah,
when
it's
you're just, like,
a
hopping around.
it's a little bit tricksy. They do it generally a pretty good job of. You can go most places. You can even jump over some obstacles. So it's not difficult to. They generally do a pretty good job of like there will be a barrier you cannot jump over.
Okay.
To indicate that. I don't think I've seen this thing before. Oh, Waddle, that might have not have been a great choice. That was not a great choice for you to move forward there. Yeah, like I said, you can see I'm... All right, we got to level up. Maybe we'll get ourselves an evolution on camera. And we will. Something's about to happen to Dean.
Oh, I like that 2D.
Yeah, got our Paper Mario turnaround sprite.
Mhm.
Ooh. And here, there's a slightly unfinished placeholder sprite, but still, like, I wouldn't hate it if it just kind of looked like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks good. Oh, a little glint in the eye.
They're more kind now. So I think...
What does that mean?
Let's find out. Let's take a look. Vibe is kind. I assume that has something to do with stats. I'm assuming that's similar to the natures on Pokemon, but I'm not positive on what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other thing I want to point out while I'm in here, much like Pokemon, there's a limited number of moves you can have. You can have 3 abilities on any given beastie, but you don't forget them permanently. So as
you
they
can
level
swap
up,
them in and out.
yeah, you can pick what 3 you want out of any of the moves that they have learned over the course of the game. So you can go in if you're facing a tough challenge, if you're facing a gym battle that's particularly hard. You have a lot of freedom to go in and like really play around with exactly what strategies you have available to you, what combinations you can pull. It's surprisingly deep as a game.
Wow. Yeah, I'm very excited now. You sold me on Beastieball.
I've got my fingers crossed that they can stick the landing, because what I've played in early access, I've genuinely really, really liked. So I think I've shown off plenty. I don't want to give too much away because I do want people to go play this, because show some love to somebody doing something really new and cool to this space and this style of RPG.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I think it does add a lot of depth and complexity to a game, while also not aping it exactly, changing it into something that's completely new. I think this is awesome. Thank you so much for showing this off to me today.
Of course. Thank you for having me on.
All right, and that's it from everybody here. Chris, where can where everyone find you?
Sure. I am on primarily on Blue Sky for social media at this point. I believe my handle is my website, so it's at cjwvoice.com, because I got that fancy Blue Sky URL at.
Wow.
Yeah, I still have a Twitter, but I use it barely ever, so Blue Sky is really the place to find me, and I'm looking to start doing some more streaming Magic the Gathering content I'm trying to get into, so I'll be posting there about whatever I get up to.
Awesome. And that'll be it for us at Super GG Radio. GG, Chris.
GG.
For more content like this, check out Super GG Radio on all podcast services for weekly conversations about betas, demos, news, and clearing out our backlog. You can also find us on twitch.tv/superggradio, and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you there!